Wild story happened last night involving Amouranth, where apparently her home was broken into by armed invaders who assaulted her and tried to force her to give them cryptocurrency. Now, if this is a true story, if it did happen the way she explains it, then I wish her all the best and good on her for actually being able to turn the tables on her attackers. But there are a lot of people out there who think that this is just her trying to get attention or something like that. And I do think there is some reason to suspect that. I mean, she is someone who is smart in marketing herself and she does stuff for attention like this. I don't necessarily know if that's the case in this situation. There are some parts of her story that I think seem reasonable. Then there's other things that it just, I don't see how things added up the way she's explaining them. I'll get more on that in a moment, but first let's look at this article from Newsweek that's talking about what we do know so far. So Amouranth shares robbery live updates. I'm covered in blood. Talk about a sensational headline. Online streaming celebrity Amouranth has reassured fans after detailing an armed robbery overnight in which she was pulled from her bed and pistol whipped. Amouranth, real name Caitlin Siragusa, said the gun-wielding assailants demanded crypto and told her to log into her phone. She said she then began posting on X, formerly Twitter, for help because calling would be a death sentence. Quote, I'm being too robbed at gunpoint, Amouranth wrote at 1:55 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, adding, this is not a prank, help. And this right here is kind of the first thing that I think that kind of stood out to me. Like, if I can understand if they gave her her phone because they want her to transfer crypto to their accounts, it's like, okay, fine, do that sort of thing. But me personally, if I was to be robbing someone like this and I wanted to hand them their phone, like, first of all, I wouldn't want them to have any access to communication to the outside world if I was robbing someone. But if I had to give them their phone for that situation, I'd probably be standing over their shoulder and watching them as they're doing something to make sure they're not calling for help or posting on social media or anything else like that. Just make sure they're just doing exactly what you're telling them to do and nothing more, especially since, according to other posts that she has, it seemed like there was multiple people. So if the idea is you need to have someone on lookout or whatever, and they couldn't necessarily be watching her, well, then you have one person on lookout, then one person watching over her shoulder. But either way, if she has a phone in her hand, you're paying attention to everything that she's doing, unless that they thought that, like, oh, she's just a little girl, she can't do anything. So they were just kind of handed her phone, leaving her be. And then they're just kind of like not necessarily paying attention to what she's doing, but paying attention what's going on around the place, making sure no one else comes in or something like that. And if that's the case, I can see someone doing that. And then it will make a little bit more sense with the following chain of events that she describes in her posts. Amouranth, known for modeling Twitch streams and ASMR content, said she may have shot one of the attackers. She shared a video of police cars outside her gated home, telling fans she was going to go to the hospital. They pistol whipped me, but I got one. I'm bleeding a lot, but stable, going to hospital. And if she did get pistol whipped, presumably that's in the head. And if you get a laceration on the face or scalp or something like that, it does bleed a lot. And I can see why someone would go to the hospital. And depending on the severity, she might actually need stitches, or I think it's staples is what you use for the head to close up wounds on that. She posted to her 3.7 million X followers at 0:33 a.m. So just after midnight Eastern time on Tuesday. I believe I shot one of them. They wanted crypto is what they were yelling. They pulled me out of bed. Newsweek contacted local law enforcement and Amouranth representatives via comment via email on Tuesday morning outside of normal working hours. I think they mean Monday morning on there. That seems like it's a typo. Is this? No, this is from today. So yeah, I think it's just a typo there. So they contact them outside of normal working hours and they haven't responded yet. And I believe if this is a genuine armed robbery, then there will be a police report for the situation. And once that comes out, if it does come out that there was a police report, then that pretty much confirms everything that she said, or not necessarily everything, but it does confirm that this was in fact an armed robbery. And as I said before, if she is the victim of an armed robbery and she was able to actually turn the tables on her attackers, then I applaud her for doing that and taking her own defense into her own hands like that. That's a difficult thing for a lot of people to do, and it's good that she actually did that. And if she is injured as a result, then I do wish her a speedy recovery, even though I'm not really a fan of her work. I still don't want any innocent people to get hurt in this manner, particularly. Well, jumping over to her own X account, these are the posts that were going on. So just a kind of chain of events. So she first says, I'm being robbed at gunpoint. Then this is not a prank. Then following that with, they pistol with me, but I got one. I'm bleeding a lot, but stable, going to the hospital. Has this photo of the police outside of her home. I'm being robbed at gunpoint. I believe I shot one of them. They wanted crypto is what they were yelling. They pulled me out of bed. And that would just be a nightmare scenario. If you're asleep and you're getting pulled out of bed, pistol whipped, and then someone with a gun throws you your phone and says, transfer me crypto or anything like that. And then her first thought is like to try to, I don't know, contact for help or whatever. A lot of people would just do it. Like, I think that'd probably be the safest thing. Just give them what they want, get them out of there, and then worry about getting it back later, because you can actually retrieve that if it was theft. And I'm sure she actually is covered with insurance. But she has this video that she also shared that shows police cars and stuff outside of her house. I'm covered in blood, but only some of it is mine. I'll update y'all later, but I'm safe now. Was at gunpoint. They gave me phone and said log in with gun to my head, and I tweeted because calling would be a death sentence. Yeah, again, this is kind of weird to me that she says she can't call, but she was able to make posts on X or anything like that. And would you really expect people to help you? I mean, she has millions of followers, so it seems like as you post something, someone's going to see it instantly. But that does seem kind of like a strange thing, and I find it weird that none of them would have actually seen what she's doing on her phone when they're telling her to give her crypto. I guess they just weren't expecting her to actually try anything else. Like I was saying, maybe they were just kind of handed her phone and they were wandering around the room checking things or whatever. And then at that point, she, like, I don't know, reaches into her nightstand, grabs a gun, shoots one of them, and they run away. That seems like a plausible scenario. I can see that being the case. We just don't know the details at this point. And as far as robbing for crypto, it seems kind of funny, but that's actually not an unusual thing. I just did like a 10-second search on Department of Justice, and I saw like a few stories pop up. 12 defendants sentenced to violent home invasion robberies to steal cryptocurrency. Man convicted of violent home invasion robberies to steal cryptocurrency. Now, this is something that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of, but also, I'm not a criminal because I just assume that it'd be as ridiculous as having someone log into their bank account and transfer money to your account, because you can trace that, and people thinking crypto is untraceable. That's really not how it is. I mean, you could still get it, but I mean, also, if you're a smart person, you're probably not committing crimes to begin with. US DOJ files a complaint in Bitcoin armed robbery scheme last week. The U.S. Department of Justice filed a criminal complaint against two individuals for committing armed robbery. The suspects are accused of forcing at gunpoint a North Carolina couple to liquidate their Bitcoin account at a U.S. cryptocurrency exchange. It says they made 3 transactions totaling $156,000 before a 4th transaction got stopped because of suspicious activity. While the culprits attempted to obfuscate their transactions, even moving funds through anonymity-enhanced currency, Moreno, FBI agents and task force officers were able to trace funds on the blockchain through various addresses and assets back to the same compliant U.S. exchange, ultimately using blockchain intelligence and traditional investigation techniques to identify the suspects. So, robbing someone for cryptocurrency in that manner, it checks out. People have done that in the past. Now, did that actually happen with Amouranth? Again, until we get details, until we get an actual police report, we don't know. It's possible. Also, maybe she was at her home. She slipped, hit her head, gashed open, called 911. This is what happened. So she took a video of it because, on her, as she's leaving her house. And then she's like, you know what? I'm just going to create a story surrounding this. If there's a lawyer who's seeing this, let me know the legality of it, because I know it's illegal to file a false police report, but is it illegal to make posts like this on social media if it's actually not about a real incident? I don't know the details, so maybe it's possible she could just be doing that. That, like, I'm just going to build a story around why I have this gash in my head that sounds more interesting than I just slipped and fell or something like that. Who knows what actually happened, but I think we will find out in the coming days when there's more information released on this. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.